Chapter 1, Summer of 2006. Girly, Black, Cheesy, and Quan were all sitting on their grandma's floor watching the football channel. It was 2006 on an October morning, and the sun hadn't come out yet to warm up the cool morning. Girly and Black were twins, and the only reason Girly had that name because he had long hair, and Black had that name because he came out the womb dark as coal. Sheezy and Quan were the twins' cousins off their daddy's side, so whenever you drove through the graveyard, you would see Girly, Black, Sheezy, and Quan out on the park either horseplaying or chatting with some young tenders. That's how life was every year. The twins, Cheesy, and Quan. But every weekend during the summer, the twins' cousins off their mother's side would come over to have fun. Slim and Lil Bit were brothers about 2 years older than the rest. They were only 14, but they moved like 18-year-olds. They kept a gun, a low package to sell, and they was always quiet. But for some reason, they loved coming to Grandma's house to chill. Chapter 2, Summer of 2007. A year later, Slim and Lil Bit would turn 16 years old now, and they were as deep in the streets as a teen could get. The twins, Girly and Black, were 14 now, and Cheesy and Quan was 15 now. In the last year, Slim and Lil Bit were showing the 4 younger fam members how to move in the streets. Slim and Lil Bit would teach them how to sling dope and load up weapons. One day, Slim and Lil Bit would walk the shortcut to their grandma's house so they could check on their stash. Slim and Lil Bit would give their twins their weapons to avoid walking with them in broad day to avoid the police. When they arrived to their grandma's house and looked inside their stash spot, the $4,000 was gone. The next day, Slim and Lil Bit came out on the block as if nothing happened. It was plenty people out there, including his twin cousins and their cousins, Cheesy and Quan. Instantly, Slim and Lil Bit noticed all the new shoes and clothes that Cheesy and Quan had on. As Slim and Lil Bit approached Cheesy and Quan, Quan would draw a 380 striking Slim in the chest. Lil Bit pulled out and started wild gun firing back, striking one of the twins in the neck, dropping him instantly. Black couldn't even move as he watched his twin Girly take his last breath. His cousin Slim, off his mother's side, died instantly. Lil Bit would run off into the alley as Black and Cheesy fled the other way. Chapter 3, Summer of 2008. Quan would be sitting on his auntie's porch on the north side of Liberty Hill. It was darker than usual because the black clouds covered the entire North Charleston. Quan would walk to the store for a cigar when he noticed a spark out the corner of his eyes. Before he heard the boom, he felt the pain in his ribs. Quan manages to pull out his baby Glock and started running while firing backwards. He would jump a few gates and lose his attackers. Only problem is now, he had a hole in his left lung, and his lung had collapsed. He knew he had to find help immediately, or else. He knocked on a few people's doors, but they only closed the door in his face. Just before he passed out, he saw 2 shadows on the corner. The adrenaline pumping through his body caused him to let off his last 8 shots. He collapsed, and the 2 assassins came and finished him off. Black and Cheesy would be chilling on the graveyard smoking and reminiscing about twin Girly and their cousins. It was sad that they had to take out their own cousin Quan, but if he had never started shooting and wild gunfiring, things like that wouldn't have had to happen. As Cheesy and Black watched TV, Cheesy would look at Black and just smile. Cheesy would put 2 inside Black's chest, and while Black fought for his life, Cheesy tore the apartment up looking for money and dope, but it was useless. Black never kept anything inside the trap. The door would come crashing open, and more than 12 FBI agents came flooding inside the apartment. So for the last 3 years, the trap had been getting watched by the feds, and Sheezy just went down for murder. All right, now, Lil Bit would basically be the guy, the cousin or the friend out the whole group after them boy had get inside the shootout, Lil Bit basically was the guy who kind of fell back from everybody, went to go get a job, hustle on the side, been doing his own thing on the low. What's up, Sticks TV? Alright, now, if y'all boy from Charleston, y'all already know this Liberty Hill story get real deeper than this. You see what I'm saying? But basically, the twins, Girly and Black, had cousins off their mother's side, which is Slim and Lil Bit. You see what I'm saying? Then they had cousins off their daddy's side, which was Cheesy and Quan. Now, basically, what happened was the twins' daddy's side started beefing with his mama's side. You see what I'm saying? Them boys start whacking each other, knocking each other off. And at the end, you see how Cheesy end up double-crossing Black at the end for some dope and some drugs. So basically what I'm trying to get through to my audience is that, yeah, I use Liberty Hill because you can see family killing family. You see what I'm saying? Now, basically, what I'm trying to tell y'all boy and the younger generation is that when you growing up in the streets, I don't care if them boy your family, your black brother, your black cousin, your daddy, your uncle, when you dealing with the streets, when you dealing with those people in the streets. Now, when y'all having street dealings, I having a street dealing with my cousin, a street dealing with my brother. I'm swapping drugs, I'm swapping guns, I'm swapping money hand in hand with family or blood or friends. What you gotta understand is the same thing a stranger would do to you or you would do to a stranger when you dealing with the streets, a family member or a friend would do the same thing to you that a stranger would do. But sometimes it'll be worse because a family member or a friend on some shit like I gotta make sure he gone. Cause if he not, get what he's saying? But this your boy Marlo, man, like out.